What's up guys, I'm BTC. The next Archives event is just around the corner, so today I'm going to talk about what you can expect and also make a couple of predictions. I've talked about a couple of things in previous videos, so quick recap. First thing is that supposedly we had a leak for the upcoming event in the form of an achievement that seems to indicate that it will be a Talon mission. As I pointed out in my video yesterday, it could very well be a fake. It would probably take me less than 20 minutes to put something like that together. It's really a shame that most of the leaks we get now are fake, whereas originally we were getting a bunch of real ones, but now it's just all fake stuff. But anyways, so that is the supposed leak that we got yesterday. The other thing is the release schedule and the expected start date of the Archives event. So if you look, you'll notice that all of the previous events had a comic that was released on the first Wednesday of April, and then the following Tuesday is when the event actually starts. Now, prior to this, we can expect to get a couple of teasers. So at the end of March, we should start to get a couple of teasers. It might actually start as early as next week, maybe like Thursday, Friday, Saturday sometime, or maybe it's going to start the week after and we'll get a couple of teasers and then we get the comic and then the event actually starts. So what is the event going to be? Well, I've been saying this for quite a while, long before that supposed leak ever came out, that I think it's going to be a Talon mission, and I think it's going to involve Amélie Lacroix, which is Widowmaker's real name, and it's probably going to be the original kidnapping of Amélie. Now, the other possibility is that maybe it is the rescue mission of Overwatch when they go in and they try to rescue her, but really, she's doesn't need to be rescued because Talon just kind of releases her. They like let her go basically, and you have some of the Overwatch agents that go in and they think they rescued her, but they really didn't. It's all kind of a trick because then a couple weeks later, Amélie ends up killing her husband while he's sleeping, and then she escapes and goes back to Talon. Anyways, so I think that's almost certainly what the mission is going to be. It's probably going to happen on a modified version of the Paris map as well. One other story-related prediction I want to make is I think it's going to be revealed that Moira is a double agent, that she was working with Talon even while she was still in Overwatch and Blackwatch, and she might have actually even had a big role in the brainwashing of Amélie Lacroix after she was kidnapped. What's the name of the event going to be? Well, if the leak turns out to be real, it could be Overwatch Extraction, and if the leak is fake, it could be Betrayal, Downfall, it could be anything, really. As far as the look of the logo, I put together this little mock-up here. If you look at the Overwatch Uprising, you see Big Ben has been replaced with an Overwatch logo. For the Retribution, you have the little marker, the line that goes up and down that shows the heart rate, and also the kind of shatter effect, and that's from the broken glass that Reaper threw, Antonio threw. So there's, you know, some kind of connections to what's happening inside of the event itself. So for the Overwatch, I'm just going to use Extraction because whatever, it's just, it is what it is. It may be the right one, it might not be. But, so Extraction, you're going to have a little bit of the blue in the background, and that's to represent the blue purplish color that Widowmaker has when she goes full Talon and all that sort of stuff. Another thing is, if it's a Talon mission, which I kind of think it's going to be, then you might have the Talon logo, and that might get kind of put in there somehow. Most likely, it's going to replace one of the T's in the word, so if it's Extraction or Betrayal or something, if there's a T in it, then they can swap out and put the Talon logo in. Alright, let's talk legendary skins and which characters are most likely going to get one. If this is the first time you've watched one of these prediction videos, I have a couple of Excel sheets and a logic and a methodology that I use in figuring out which characters are going to get a legendary skin. Now, I'm fairly accurate. I never get them all, but I do get most of them. The first thing to know is that the skins for the Archives events are very specific, whereas all the other events, it doesn't need to be anything like that. It just has to be cool and kind of fit the theme. But the Archive event, it needs to be something from the character's past. All of the skins have been something like that, with one exception, and that's Lucio. They didn't give him something from his past, they just gave him another DJ skin that just kind of looks cool. I guess it was in the art book or it was one of the original designs, but it's not actually canon to the character. Another thing is that a bunch of the character skins that would fit in the Archive event have already been added to the game in a different way. Ana being young, you have the Overgrown for Bastion, which was from the cinematic, you have the Black Ops for Reaper. All of this stuff has already been added to the game now. It doesn't mean that those characters won't get an archive skin, because Tracer got one the first year and Reaper got one the second year, so it's not like they can't get another one, but some of those things that we've already seen in the cinematics and the comics and stuff, those have already been added to the game. All right, so what kind of numbers are we looking at? Most of the recent events have been 6 legendaries and 3 epics. The first year of Uprising was 2 epics and 8 legendaries. Retribution was no epics and 8 legendaries, because Blizzard just kind of stopped adding epics for a little while. But now they've re-added them, so this year I think it's going to be probably 7 legendaries and 2 epics, and that's what I'm going to base my predictions off of. Let's get started on the predictions. First legendary is going to be for Ashe, or more specifically, it's going to be for Bob. And the reason for that is because Bob stands for Big Omnic Butler, but none of his character skins show him as an actual butler. And I think that Blizzard is going to want to add that in, and then, you know, Ashe just gets a legendary to go along with it, pretty much, is how it's going to work. And it's probably going to be what we saw in one of her origin story, the animation, which is a more casual kind of rich, preppy kind of looking outfit. And of course, you have Bob as the butler. The next legendary is going to be Baptiste. I think this is a very easy one, because they've already shown us what he looks like with his Talon uniform. We've seen this in the sprays, in the animations, all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, if that leak turns out to be true, the bottom right on that achievement, the icon is Baptiste. He's got the little visor, and you can see it's the old hairstyle. And of course, that would accompany a brand new legendary skin that goes along with it. So even if that leak is fake, I think it's a really safe bet that Baptiste gets a legendary skin. The next legendary skin is for Brigitta. She's been out for quite a while and only has 1 legendary, which was the Shield Maiden for last year's anniversary event. Since then, she's gotten a couple of epics, but again, only that 1 legendary. So I think a good possible candidate is the training one that we've seen before, where it's got all the different padded equipment. Now, they could take it a little bit further, and they could give her a more silly character skin, which would be something from her really early childhood, when she was wearing like cardboard armor, and she was like playing with the cats and stuff and trying to emulate what Reinhardt was doing. So they might give her the padded one, or they could go the full silly route and give her an outfit that is literally made out of cardboard. The next character is Kenji. It's been over a year since he's gotten any kind of an event skin. No legendaries, no epics. He did get a legendary for the Overwatch League All-Star match, but you had to pay for that one with real money, so no event skins. I think there's a really good chance he gets one for this archive event, and I think it's going to be similar to what Hanzo got last year. So he got this skin, which is from when he was in the Shimada clan. He was head of it, but Genji really didn't care, and he was just kind of like doing whatever, which is why, you know, the whole big fight happened between them and all that sort of stuff. So I think Genji is probably going to get something that's a little similar, but a lot more casual. The next legendary skin is for Moira. I know she got one last year, but other characters have gotten back-to-back legendaries for the same event. It's nothing new, so I definitely think that Moira is going to be getting one, because she has the least number of legendaries in the entire game outside of Ashe and Hammond, who have just recently been added. Ana actually comes in next with only 3 legendaries, but Moira only has 2, so I definitely think she's going to get one. Now, she could get this, which is the kind of scientist lab coat, but I think more likely she's going to end up getting this one right here, which is the science uniform that she wore while she was in Overwatch, and while she was kind of working a little bit with Mercy. You know, it's very similar to hers. This has probably been the most requested skin for Moira as well. Ever since the character was released, people have been asking for this skin, and they might actually just add it. Now, looking at that supposed leak, now again, we don't know if it's real or fake, but the bottom left character does seem to be Moira, and it does seem to fit with this character skin, because if we take a closer look here, again, this might be fake, and it might be all pointless to show this, but I'm just going to match it up just because. So you see the little things on the left and the right-hand side, those could very well be the little metal curve parts that kind of look like horns on her outfit, and then the next thing is the hairline. It looks almost identical, and then the third thing is, originally when you look at this, you probably thought that those little dots on the bottom were the eyes, but I don't think they are, because it looks like they're too high up and they're too off to the side, so it looks like they're actually the metal parts that, I don't know if they're like some sort of implants or whatever they are, but they're attached to Moira's head. So I think that's what it's going to be, and if she does get a legendary, I think this is the most likely candidate that she gets. The next legendary skin I think is for Roadhog. I don't have any images from comics or animations to show you, but I do think that the skin they're going to give for him is prior to the apocalypse. So when he's in the Australian Liberation Front, when he's fighting the Omnics, maybe it'll be some kind of a uniform. Now, it doesn't mean they're going to show his face. They might just keep that hidden underneath some sort of helmet or something like that, but I do think that we're going to get an early version of Roadhog. The last legendary is for Zarya. Again, I don't have any images from comics or anything to show you, but I do think there's a chance that we get a uniform skin from the Russian Defense Force. So just like it's going to show the old uniform for Roadhog, I think there's a good chance Zarya gets the same deal with her stuff. Next, we're moving on to the epic skins, although in fairness, I think this could possibly be a legendary. Really, it depends on how far they want to go with it, because if they take the Diva skin right out of the animation, then that's pretty much just an epic, because the mech looks the same, her uniform looks the same, the only thing that's different is that she's wearing a hat and a jacket. And if the only thing they do is add the hat and the jacket and maybe a little bit of battle damage to the mech or something like that, then that is definitely an epic quality skin. They could turn it into a legendary, but they would have to add way more than just that. And for the last epic skin, I'm going to go with Pharah, although I did give some serious consideration to Hammond as well. And I know he got a legendary, but it does seem like Blizzard is trying to give the new characters more skins after they get released, so that they don't end up with another Moira or Anna situation. But I ultimately just ended up going with Pharah, just because she really hasn't gotten anything recently. She's got a legendary back for Halloween, but other than that, not too much, and I just think that she's probably due for another one. So here's the complete list for legendaries. It's going to be Ashe, Baptiste, Brigitta, Genji, Moira, Roadhog, and Zarya, and then the two epics are Diva and Pharah. So what characters do you think are going to get legendary skins? Leave them down in the comment section below, and in a couple of weeks, we'll find out who's right. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything. Also, come hang out in my Discord server and my Twitch live stream. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see what kind of cool VIP rewards you can get, check the links down below. And remember, always blame the controller, because it's never your fault.